It is a season such as this, November 2020. Let's just wrap our minds around that. You say, "Oh, right, I haven't seen Ia in a while." Yeah, Mercury retrograde. It is seasons such as they are. November 2020. Now, there's good news and then there's more challenging news. But who's up for another challenge? Isn't, I mean, it's just what we do. It's what we wake up. It's what we live for these days to see how far can we go with the challenges. And before you're too quick to answer, one of the tools that we have come across during that Mercury retrograde and the quiet is that pause button. It has come up in like at least 4 conversations that I can think of that I probably had in the last week to 10 days, that people are finally recognizing that with the pounding and amounts of trauma and grief, and like the levels that we're all having to go or getting pushed into our superpowers, that the pause button is like a major tool. It gives us the ability to slow down and at least by half. I had to think as I came to this, I said, thankful that I have my sloth, my little bag. Everybody in the store is like, "Oh, I love your bag." And she's a sloth. And her name is Serenity. And I promise you, if I try to leave her in the car, or just forget her, she just gets right in there like a little baby in the wagon, sits up with me, and all my good things are in there, my ID, whatever card they need and all like that. She helps an old lady. And if you have not looked at the YouTube of sloths, you should. They are slow motion creatures. We have so much to learn in this time about slowing anything that we are doing or thinking or saying by half. And that's why I'm going to go really slow today. I want to, for the most part, just give you the download as it came to us early this morning. And we were amazed that we just couldn't stop typing. So yeah, despite a worldwide pandemic and cultural race wars, the constant need for purification rituals to help our soul, to refresh our soul, to recharge, to be sure where we are on the dark moon and where we are to charge back up for the full moon. These are the things that we have to do in order to navigate this next part, which is talking about the truth or it's not the truth. Hello, it's the truth or it's not the truth. Discernment. That's another tool, the slowing down piece. You look into the medicine bag as we go into the winter. You say, what I really got in there? Because you can't share with another what you're not in possession of. That's the truth. That is the truth. If you don't have it to give, you only have 5 pennies to give, well, you can look at 3, 4, or give the whole 5, okay? But if there's nothing, no pennies in your hand, then you're not in possession of giving away 5 pennies. And so, we're sorry to break it down like that for a kindergartner, but it seems, okay, in the midst and the polarity between the 71 million and the 74 million, that people are having a hard time navigating what is really true. And it brings us to say to you, don't believe the hype. And it's more than a song from Public Enemy. Don't believe the hype. Going forward, when you wonder to yourself and you look around as the year ends and do an assessment, which is what we're going to talk about, what we're talking about for the next 6 Tuesdays in Season of the Raven. How do we do the math? How do we add up what we have learned, what we've had to release and give away, and what is so worthy, maybe in its unrefined state, like the diamond before it's fired. It's not yet there, but we know, and I've been saying that, what I'm pregnant with for next spring, what I plan on giving birth to, because we have to take some ground in here, even if it is in our own little cave in the winter of 2020, as we watch this thing play out. That's what happens. I don't know. I love it because I have a good understanding. You know where I can go? I can go to Ash Wednesday in New Orleans, when the streets are filled with beads and things that people threw for like enormous levels of fun and family and, oh my goodness, any fat, Wednesday that follows Fat Tuesday, that's what it looks like. And you know that the people who clean the city have to come forward to do just that work. And I would contend to you that, Earth Mom and I have been diligent this year about our lighthouses because we like to expose that trash like the day after Mardi Gras so that we, the light workers, can move about with our business of housekeeping. This is so, so, so important. And part of that housekeeping, I'm telling you, if you're not sure, what I love the most, how about that, if I want to keep it brief, what I love the most is a few things about the GreenSong Changemaker series. I love that I could be just like grandmother Elspeth when I grow up. I can be 90 and god dang still kicking some type of vibration amongst the people who have been my community. And in a delightful way, like music over here, or in a really serious way, like Byron Ballard kicked off this series. If you haven't seen that yet, these are formidable people that have come, all the way from St. Croix, Snow Bear, with survival and natural disasters. Do you even know? Because we in the la today. 6.0 earthquake somewhere on a typhoon a week ago in the Philippines. Seriously, it's not just hot and sunshiny. If I would open my front door here in Georgia on the 12th of November, and I mean hot, like 70s, 80s hot, because it's a freak of nature. We're in a climate change. And so the Changemaker series brings people from all quadrants of spirit and earth and nature, and they're just good stuff to share. And it's not a night long or day long investment. You can come and hang out with us for, like I said, I think 90 minutes each, or however you want to do it. And I'm saying these days, as these COVID numbers go up, look at the things that you might not normally choose for your Saturday night. That's what you want to do. And so we just have to begin. That's part of it too. I'll be honest. Okay. Complete transparency and candor. The spirits will bring me to it. They're saying part of it is that maybe people like Snow Bear and Elspeth and Byron and grandmother Elspeth are not in your normal menu of people you would hang out with on Saturday night. That is so daggone the point. I am trying to tell you that Jonathan and I slip right on that same major point right there about whose table it is or where we feel invited and where we belong. And so if you consider this Changemaker series nothing but your dress rehearsal or your practice session on how to be or embrace those that maybe do think a little differently than you, or they live a different kind of life, or they see the world from a different place, hey, boo, I'm trying to tell you, we got to do more of that. We just have to do more of that. And it's not because we're in the old people pleasing mask wearing places of yesterday. It's because we want to take our best face forward, because guess who's watching? Our grandchildren, our great grandchildren. They are watching how we walk our way into everyone's neighborhood and are felt loved or invited or accepted, or there's a place at the table for you. Come on, mama, sit down. Yes, we have to do this. If in fact we give any validity to authenticity and these types of things, okay? So in seasons such as this, the website is becoming really important. And we do say all hail the South. Truly, my friend laughs at me every single day as I trip and fall over the different parts of the machine world. But thank God she's been right there for me and been right there for you, because mommy couldn't do it. I know my part, but I'm telling you, I couldn't bring it. So we thank Tracy for our beautiful images and the visuals that she brings to us. And quiet as is kept, she's like the steering wheel of the GreenSong Changemaker series. And so there are so many parts that people are finding their good, solid footing in their lane, and they're taking hold of that thing. And so that's what we want to do. You know, we want to lead by example, basically. We want to put our humility out in front of us, but we also want to show you that we are strong, we are resilient, we are creative. Do not sleep us, because we are always moving in the possibility of what shall we do next to bring healing and love and the community that we really want our grandchildren to grow up in. We really do. You know, and it brings me to the grandmothers that I have the blessing of sitting with on every dark noon of the moon of the month. Look for it. It's called the Grandmothers Council, or maybe someone you know is involved. I think it happens by invitation. If you'd like an invitation to come, holla at your girl. You know, send me an inbox and let me know. My daughters, various women that are now finding themselves in powerful positions of having to step out in front of women. Come on, Kamala is Madam Vice President. So we're moving, and we have to know how to move, you know, and I have lots of areas like that that I'd love to share with you, more than I could do on this one season such as this. But in season such as this is the Wild Darlings community. I was just on the phone yesterday with the Wildwood Path. Many of them, most of their students will be joining us for the season of the Raven, and they're way up in Maine. And we've had the best conversations in 40 degrees, full snow, full on, heaters in the gloves. It was fabulous. But we kicked it because we could be that truthful. Nature can hug you in that way when you sit among the standing people, the trees, the truth. And it's not colored, there's no spin, it's just the straight up truth. So we have plenty of these coming in. What we are telling you is that the website is evolving just this morning with putting together a series similar to GreenSong, but not, you know, similar to carry on that energy of the Changemaker series. But an Elder Speaks is dedicated to my dear friend who flew away, who flew away from us. A year and a day is coming up for him. They have it on his program. I looked this morning, it's the 18th. And many of you who know me have heard me talk about the Chief Olaitan. Of course, my father in the Ancestral Society, my brother, my friend, my mentor. Okay, and so I know that's for a fact. What is the best way to celebrate the life that was impressed upon me would be to continue, because he had a website called An Elder Speaks. And just to interview, we talked with Nancy Basket this morning, wanted to see what she thought of the idea to, because, and this all came from a job search from two coyotes way up there in Connecticut. And of course, they want a boots on the ground person and all that. And so we said, well, what would it be like for you all to spend like even an hour with a Doug Elliott in my Zoom room, or a Nancy Basket, or, you know, any of these people. And in the BIPOC circles, we're going out to the authors, John B. and the Becky Code, Black Faces and White Spaces. If we're going to have the conversations, ladies and gentlemen, we have to really do the work. This is what I love so much about my South, is she reflects back to this North. If I ask her, say, Trace, what do you think about this? But it means you got to watch The Watchmen, or you got to know about Tulsa, or you got to know a little background about Toomsboro, because I'm thinking of moving my RV over there. And these people are big, they're nationwide. And for Black people to now own 500 acres, over 500 acres, given the history of America, yes, the 4 basic rules are still to show up. Yeah, pay attention. Tell the truth. See, because you can know what the truth is if you were paying attention. And then you don't go, you know, you're not attached to the results. And the age of Aquarius coming up here on the winter solstice of December that's where we at. Okay? That's where we at. Checkmate. That's what's up. And so, yeah, and when we get to the other side of it, this is the other point, and then I'll leave you. When we get to the other side of it, and back in our hugs and our park and our sunlight at the beach with our grandchildren, and all is well without the mask, I would be available for my grandchildren to say, well, Grandma, gosh, ain't nobody got to ask you what you did when they was trying to steal democracy. They don't have to ask you, what did you do? when people were hiding in their houses, looking the other way because it just was too depressing for them. Most people. I watch more news than most, but I came up as a reporter, you know. A person who reads 5 newspapers before 6 a.m. is nothing. And I refuse to go into this conversation ahead of us, any of these conversations, uninformed. And that's what I have to say. when you get right down where the rubber meets the road, seasons such as this would say wise people can no longer afford to look away. They have to choose courage and bravery to have the conversations that need to be had and move on to the action plan right behind those conversations. Nothing but love and peace in my heart. Stay well, stay safe, drink your teas, do your antivirals. This is winter. Winter is coming. Peace.